Thank you very much, my sister, Marissa Ramlogan. A special good evening to my political leader, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, who you will hear from shortly. And of course, to my UNC family, who are logged on our live. And there are many non-UNC people as well, who I know look on at this virtual forum. It is really an honor for me to be here this evening at this virtual forum. My friends, you have known me in the UNC in service to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Local government is my passion because I was a counselor, local government counselor, for 10 years. Because of Kamla Prasad Bisesa, I had the opportunity to serve as the chairman, youngest ever chairman of a regional corporation for 3 years. And today, after this reshuffling of the pack of jokers, I am appalled. I want to know, what did local government ever do to deserve Faris Alwari as our Minister of Local Government? Faris Alwari was the most unsuccessful and incompetent Attorney General ever in Trinidad and Tobago, in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. And he has now been appointed as the Minister of Rural Development and Local Government. Could the goodly Prime Minister kindly tell us, Trinidad and Tobago, what is the rationale behind this decision? Here we have another illogical, insensible decision by the leader, the Prime Minister. But I wonder if he is hitting Alwari a shot. Because Colm Imbert, as Minister of Finance, and several other ministers boasted that local government would soon fall under the office of the Prime Minister. The regional corporations, that is, would fall under the office of the Prime Minister. And the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government would soon be the Ministry of Rural Development only. So I wonder if they give Faris something to take it back, and he would end up with almost no ministry. At least he realized people plant chocolate. People plant cocoa, and in Trinidad we have top quality cocoa in many parts of Trinidad and Tobago. Congratulations on realizing that. They don't plant chocolate, they plant cocoa beans. But if Faris Alwari believes that he could run local government with a set of fancy words, I want to tell you that a pocket square doesn't make a difference in local government. I want to tell you that local government is bread and butter issues. Local government is not about buttering your own bread. And we know that Faris Alwari has a well-established reputation of buttering his own bread. We know of the rentals for his family properties. It was since March in 2019, the leader of opposition called for a criminal investigation into Faris Alwari for alleged misconduct in public office, because the Attorney General then and his wife stood to pocket over $23 million from the state's rental of a family-owned property in St. Clair. And that is only one property. Today, a regional corporation could barely get $23 million for their development program to build roads, bridges, and box drains within their region. The leader of opposition exposed that the spouse of then Attorney General Mona Nahus was the only, and the Attorney General himself were the only shareholders of the property, which was leased by the government for $644,000 a month. And that deal gave them $23.18 million in their pockets, and they bought that property in 2006 for $2.5 million. So they well paid themselves. So Faris Alwari is known for buttering his own bread. He is also known for recusing himself. We have on record the Minister of Finance, the Prime Minister, and the Attorney General, then, Faris Alwari, disclosing that Faris Alwari recused himself a total of 37 times between 2015 and 2020 from a cabinet, a P&M cabinet that was making the decisions that involved a conflict of interest to put millions of dollars into the pockets of Faris Alwari. It goes without saying that this man, who accustomed to buttering his own bread, when it comes to bread and butter issues, is ill-equipped for the job of Minister of Rural Development and Local Government. But who is going to protect the corporations from this man? This Rowley government is clearly imploding. There is no accountability. They are fighting amongst themselves and too busy imploding to run this country. The Attorney General was put out by his own Prime Minister. And you have to ask why. Is it because they only now realize his incompetence? They themselves have been bracing for him and making excuses for him for some time. There have been so much interference and inappropriate behavior, misconduct by this man who was the Attorney General. And the concept of transparency is totally lost in this government. But we want to focus our attention now on a reshuffle, a totally misguided reshuffle. And I tell you, local government is the arm of government that is closest to people. It affects every sphere of life. When this government is negligent in street lighting, when darkened areas leads to rape, murder, assault, and kidnapping of our women in Trinidad and Tobago, when front and center we have devastating cases, incident after incident. We had in a repo recently where the government promised to put in street lights and so on. The local government, regional corporations can play a role in that. And so the government's neglect of local government affects other spheres of life. The Rowley government has to take blame for their incompetence. Local government, through the regional corporations, are well placed to meet the needs and the targets. And we should really have targeted programs, particularly dealing with communities and their well-being to protect our women from violence. Prevention programs, youth, sports, when you talk about education programs and really reaching to the heart of a community, it is local government. And although other ministries will play a role, local government, regional corporations, and our councillors are best placed to deliver. And the government has totally failed our women and failed our young people. There are no opportunities for our at-risk youth through sports and education and skills training and jobs that can play a role in reducing crime and even gang recruitment. When the People's Partnership implemented those type of opportunities, there was a significant reduction in murders. And that is a matter of fact. That is not opinion. You can look at the TTPS records of murders in those years. And you know what happened when they went into government and they stopped those programs? They stopped those programs because they were UNC programs. And murders increased. And today, they cannot get it under control. The Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, the Minister of National Security, the Minister of Public Utilities, the Minister of Works, they all have a responsibility that impacts on local government. When you can't get a bus to go into a rural area, when our corporations can't have to pick up the bill because WASA is not sending water and they have to send water trucks to those areas in this day and age, sending water trucks. When our streetlights are not working and our women are under attack, our women are vulnerable, all of these are areas that local government play a role in. So I am happy for the man who finally took a drive to the North Coast and discovered Blanchisseuse. But at the same time, all of the PNM remain disconnected from the reality. And I listen and I observe the hypocrisy of this man who has now been appointed as Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. Faris Alwari is now boasting that he has come to implement local government reform. Faris, brothers, let me tell you, it is not now that the PNM only pays attention to local government when there is a local government election due. In every PNM manifesto, they promise local government reform, but it is only in an election year that they do anything. So you come now to talk about your fanciful plans for local government and local government reform. I want to ask, before your appointment, did you even know that local government has existed? What was your position? Did you ever attempt to make any paper, any draft policy, any legislation, take any note to cabinet to assist councillors in better delivering? Do you know that under the People's Partnership, the councillors were given a VAT exemption from the purchase of vehicles because vehicles are so important to doing public service and field visits on a daily basis? But you know it was important to purchase 3 brand new Porsches within the last 5 years. So that level of hypocrisy is what you come with to local government. And it is well on record in September of last year, when the Police Service Commission imploded and the opposition raised the question about the relationship between Faris Alwari and a Police Service Commission member, Roger Kewal Singh. And the opposition had to write to request a police probe into the facts and circumstances surrounding the purported sale of a motor vehicle, a Porsche PCS 84, which was registered in 2016, which Mr. Kewal Singh was driving, and the opposition had to expose that. While you are getting VAT exemptions and customs exemption, and your friend is driving a luxury vehicle, did you ever once think about going to cabinet and putting a similar measure as the People's Partnership Attorney General Anand Ram Logan did to allow councillors to get VAT exemptions from their vehicles to go out on the field and deal with issues? That hypocrisy, Faris Alwari, will not fly. We also have in local government municipal police. Faris Alwari is well on record as well with another matter concerning Adrian Schoon and giving approval and police and calling a police station. I want to know if Faris Alwari ever gave serious thought to the PNM's broken promise of creating a deputy commissioner of police for municipal police. I said I will talk, but I want to tell you 2 things before I leave. Faris Alwari boasting that he is here to implement local government reform is also boasting that he is here to implement property tax, because Property Tax Act is one of those being amended in the new upcoming local government elections. So Faris Alwari is here to bring the harsh property tax to a reality, at least so he say. And this government has had 0 achievements in local government, 0. They are coming in 2022 when a local government election is now due, and they need something quick. They need something quick to tell you that they have achieved. So I want to put you on warning from now. The PNM plans to come with a grand plan to create two borough corporations, two boroughs, Diego Martin and Siparia Borough, instead of a regional corporation. But I'm telling you from now that it is only a cosmetic change. It is only a name change. Why don't you go to Tunapuna Piako, the most densely populated region, and make Tunapuna a town center and make it into a borough? Why don't you go to Couva Talparo Regional Corporation and make it into Couva Town Center to Couva Borough? And Couva Tabaki Talparo is the largest geographic area. Why don't you go there and make boroughs? What is your rationale? Don't come with this mama guy where you want to create a borough and try to make people feel, well, okay, I'll give one to the PNM and one to the UNC because you're doing Diego Martin and Siparia. It is so transparent. The government has totally neglected and abused local government. Local government councillors continue to struggle in their corporation for basic amenities. Every time your car hits a pothole, just remember, the PNM has neglected local government. Every time your street light is not working, just remember, the PNM has neglected local government. Every time your drain needs cleaning and it is neglected, remember it is the PNM that has abandoned local government. Every time the corporation vehicles have no fuel to go out to do their work, remember it is the PNM that has neglected local government. And you will hear more, because on Wednesday in the Parliament, local government reform comes to the Parliament, and I can tell you, my UNC colleagues, my MPs on the opposition bench are well equipped to deal with this debate coming up on Wednesday. So stay tuned, and I continue to give support to our UNC councillors who are leading the way in local government under the mentorship of Kamla Prasad-Bisesa. I thank you this evening.
Everybody sing freedom, man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom, freedom. Everybody sing freedom, man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing.
Thank you, MP Ameen. I hope Faris Alwari knows that in local